What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another video. My name is afrobeat, and today's video is going to be an FL Studio complete beginner tutorial, which is me just showing you guys how to use this software from a beginner's perspective. I've been using this software for quite a while. I've been using this software for about 4 years now. Although I won't consider myself a power user of this software, I have a lot of knowledge about FL Studio. So this is me hoping by the end of this video I'll be able to impact some of you guys that are just starting your FL Studio journey. So before I get into today's video, guys, make sure to like this video if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and make sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any content that I'll be dropping out for you guys. And also go follow me on IG at afrobeat, because I need to get to 1k subscribers. Without wasting much of your time, let's get to today's video. Hey! So this is what FL Studio looks like when you open it up by default. I'm going to give you guys a detailed explanation of what every single thing does. So first off, we have the menu panel, which is this over here. And as you guys can see, we have the file, edit, add, patterns, view, options, tools, and help. So over in the file, we have the new, this is like to open up a new project. This is open from a template. I'm going to explain this later on. And then we have open. This is to open all your saved projects. This is to save a project. This is to save as, and this is to like save a new version of a project you're actually working on. And then this is to import or export your file. And then over in the options, we have the MIDI settings, audio settings, general settings, file, and this is where you manage your plugin. So if I should click on this, it's just going to open up this window, and then this is where you can have an in-depth view of how to set your MIDIs. And if you want a video on how to connect a MIDI controller to your FL Studio, you can drop that down in the comment section and I'll do a video for you guys. So basically, this is your MIDI, audio, general, and file. Over here we have the master volume, and then we have the master pitch. I would really advise you guys to leave that the way it is. You don't want to do anything to either of these knobs. And then over here we have the pattern songs, we have the pause, play, and we also have the stop. We have the record button, and we have your tempo. And for the tempo, you can either change the tempo by scrolling up with your mouse scroller, or you can just right click and set a manual tempo. But then if you have a tempo in your head that you can't actually figure out the tempo, but you have it in your head, you can just right click and click on tap, and then this is going to let you tap and follow the rhythm you have in your head to get your tempo. So guys, this right here, this whole section right here is called the transport control. If I move over to this part, we have the metronome, and then over here we have the typing keyboard to piano keyboard. So with this on, you can actually use your laptop keyboard or your external keyboard to control your MIDI or make chords or melodies. Here we have the countdown before recording, and then over here we have the pattern selector. This is where you can select different patterns. So basically, this is your song position and your time panel. What I like to do is I right click on it and I set it to minutes, second, and centisecond. I actually like it like this instead of bar, beat, step, and take. This is actually where I think it's going to be for you guys, but for me, I actually like to leave it this way so I know how many minutes my song or my beats is. So moving on, guys, everything right here actually control any window you see on your FL Studio. So this is your playlist. If I should click this, it's going to switch off my playlist, and then if I switch it back, it's going to bring my playlist back on. And then this right here is your piano roll. This is where you click to see your piano roll, and then this is where you're going to be making MIDIs for your chords or for your melodies. And over here we have your channel rack. This is where your whole beats process starts from. And after that, we have the mixer. This is where you're going to be mixing your sound. Everything goes from each individual insert to the master, and I'm going to explain that. I'm going to explain every single thing about the mixer later on in the video. The next thing we have is the view browser plugin picker option, and if you click this, it's going to open up your browser, which is this right here. If I should click this, it's going to close it up. You actually want that open. Let's talk about the channel rack. So like I said, this is where your music starts from. This is where you start making your beats. This is where everything starts from. So if you open up your FL Studio, or you have your FL Studio open up by default, you have 4 options. This is the kick, clap, hats, and snare. So basically, this is the kick, and if I should left click on it, we are going to have this wrapper, and once this open up, it's just going to give you a lot more information, and it's going to give you an in-depth control of the sound. And basically, this is the pitch knob, this is the multiplier, the time knob. This is just going to show you guys. If I should left click on this, it's going to play the sound, and this is just a regular kick sound. And then this is just going to show you what mixer track this sound is linked to. So basically, once I close this, right here we have this little knobs. This is to pan. This is the channel panning. If I bring it all the way down to the left, it's just going to pan the sound all the way to your left speaker or your left side of your headphones. If I bring this all the way to the right, it's going to pan the sound exactly to the right side of your speaker or the right side of your headphones. But then to bring it back to the middle, you can right click and click reset. And then this is the channel volume. Over here, like I said before, this is to show you guys what mixer track this sound is linked to. You can manually change this by scrolling up or down with your mouse scroller, or right click and type in value to manually type in the value that you want. And over here we have the options menu. This is just going to give you guys more option about the channel rack. And over here guys, we have the graph editor where you can control the velocity or the note pitch of whatever sound you have on your channel rack or your step sequencer. So as I place a note right here, as you guys can see, this is velocity, you know, to increase the velocity, which is like what it sounds like, the volume basically. So if I should play this, it's going to be low. I'm going to turn off the metronome. It's going to be low, but if I take it up, you know, the volume is going to be high. And then over here we have the main pitch. You can, you know, change it up to whatever pitch you want. All right guys, let's make a beat. So to make a beat, you actually need your channel rack, and then you actually need if you're an actual beginner in FL Studio, you're just going to need this pack. So if I should click this, it's just going to open up some folders which are labeled drums, bracket mode, audio. We have flex, instrument, legacy, loops, riser, SFX, shapes, and vocals. So basically these are all you need to make a beat if you're a beginner in FL Studio. I'm just going to open up the drums, and I'm actually going to delete what we have. So to delete a sound, just right click and then delete. So basically I'm going to be deleting the clap, and I'm going to be deleting this heart and the snares, because I'm actually going to be making an afrobeat. So I'm going to leave the kick, and what I'm going to add a, let's say, a rim. I'm going to add this. So to add, you can either drag, left click, hold and drag, or I'm going to delete this, or you can right click on it, open in a new channel. If you click this, it's just going to open it up right here. So basically I'm going to add this. I'm actually going to layer the rim. So I'm going to add this, and I'm also going to add a hi-hat. I think I'll use this. So to start off making Afrobeats, we need to switch up the tempo to something slower. So I'm going to switch it to like 100 BPM, and then I'm going to start off by clicking on my MIDI sequencer. This is one way of doing it. So I'm going to start off by getting my kick. So I'm going to add one more. So I'm going to do like this for the hi-hats. So as we've gotten this, I can click on the graph editor, and then for the hi-hats, I can, you know, bring the velocity of this note. You can either do it this way, or I'm going to hold Alt and, you know, bring everything back, or you can right click, go to piano roll, and then over here, as you guys can see, this is the velocity. You can, you know, manually do this, and this is the same thing as what I did with the graph editor, but it's more like, it's going to give you like more view and more control. You need to keep in mind that with this sound that I use, this sounds from the pack section. These are like the default FL Studio sounds. These are really not quality sounds for Afrobeats. You would really need to switch up the sounds or get more packs as time goes by. You can, you know, get a lot of free samples out there. I actually have mine. this right here, this 1K drum special, is actually a free pack that you can go get. I'm going to leave the link in the description. You can go check it out. If you guys want to also know how to arrange your files just like I did for mine, or if you want to know how to, if you want to actually know how to get a pack and set it in a way where it's going to show up in your FL Studio, you can actually leave that in the comment section, and I will really do a video about that. So guys, with what we have over here, I can just move over to the playlist. So for the playlist, this is where you're going to be doing all of your song arrangements or your beat arrangement. Right here we have the snap to grid tool, we have the options, we have the draw. This is to, you know, drawing your patterns. And then we also have the brush tool. This is to, you know, paint the pattern in. You know, just drag or left click and drag to just, you know, paint everything in. And then we have the delete. So if I should place with the brush tool and like select this, I'm just going to basically delete this. And you can actually do this by right clicking. So you can left click to paint and right click to delete. So this is the mute tool. If I should draw my pattern in and I click on this, it's just going to mute whatever I click. And we have the slice tool. So if I should place a draw in a pattern and I click the slice tool, you can actually, you know, just cut it. What we have here is the select tool. This is to select, but you can actually manually do this without selecting this. You can just hold control, left click and drag to select. So you actually don't need to, you know, switch over to the select every single time you want to select something. And then this is to zoom, you know, click to zoom in, click to zoom out. So once you've arranged your pattern, this is where the pattern and song mode comes in. If you click on the pattern mode, it's going to play what you have on the channel rack. And then if I should click the song mode, it's going to play what we have on the playlist. So a good way to be well organized is actually naming your pattern. So I'm going to click on this drop down menu, go to name and color, and then I'm just going to name this drums. And as you guys can see, everything is just going to change, and you can actually change the color, but I'm not just going to actually, let's actually change the color. So I'm going to go back, name, and then I'm going to click on this and then change the color to red, but I'm going to increase this and click accept, click enter. It's just going to change up the color. So after that, I think it's time for us to add some instruments. So you can either do that by clicking on this and it's just going to open up your plugin selector, or you can click on this add right here, which is doing the same thing as this. And then you can also go to your packs, go to instruments, and then you have some options right here. So you have a guitar, a keyboard. So I think you should, you know, do you can add the rods, drag and drop, and then it's just going to load up the plugin. This is actually a direct wave plugin, and then you can close it. So since you already have your drums in pattern 1, you can just scroll up to pattern 2, and this is where you're going to be making your melody. So I'm going to right click on this and go to piano roll, and then it's just going to open up the piano roll. This is where you're going to be making midis. To make the chords, you can actually place notes, or you can use, since you have this typing keyboard to piano keyboard on, you can use your laptop keyboard or your external keyboard to, you know, to play chords. So right now I'm actually using my laptop keys. So I'm just going to start off by clicking some easy chord progression, and then we can just build our chords. And then to play what we have, you can switch this back to pattern, and then we can listen to what we've just played. So over here we have some controls. We have the note pan, and then now you can click in your pattern, which is the pattern 2. Click the name and select and color. You can actually do this by also clicking F2, which it shows right here, but I'm just going to click this, and I'm going to name this let's actually name this chord. Change the color to, let's say something, let's say blue. Let's go blue, and click accept. For a beginner, this is actually just going to make your work more neat and well organized, but then as time goes on and as you actually advance, you can, you know, start doing what you like. So basically, to play everything together, I'm going to switch this back to song mode, and then this is what everything sounds like together. actually going to teach you guys some shortcuts for the piano roll. So if I actually don't like the way it sounds, I can, you know, hold shift and the up key to take it up semitones, which is like a note above the notes you have. And then if I should hold control and take it up, it's going to go from E4 to E5, which has taken it up 1 octave. So I actually like it down an octave, so I'm going to hold control, and with the down key, with the down arrow key, I'm going to bring everything down. So guys, if you also want to duplicate this, you can select, hold control, left click and drag to select everything, and then you can click Control B to duplicate everything, or you can just select everything by holding Control A and then just holding shift, then click on it and drag, you know, just to copy everything over. So basically these are just, you know, simple shortcuts that's just going to make everything easy for you. And then if you want to delete, you can just right click, drag to delete everything, and then hold Ctrl Z to undo. And then if you want to redo, hold Ctrl Z to redo, and then Ctrl Z again to undo. So the next thing you need to do is to link everything to the mixer. But before I do that, there's one issue I really need to address. When you open up your FL Studio or you open up a new project, it's just going to load up with an FL limiter on your master, and I actually advise against that. So what you need to do is to delete the FL limiter or the fruity limiter whenever you're making your beats. If you really don't want to do that every single time you open up FL Studio, you can go to your file and then click open from template and change the default template. And then once it's open, you can click on click this default template and click the minimal. If you want to add a fruity limiter, I would advise you to manually add that in by yourself and not FL Studio deciding when to add an FL limiter for you. So basically I click on this. This actually means whenever I open up my FL Studio or whenever I open up a new project, it's going to open up without a fruity limiter in my master. You need to actually link all your sounds individually to an individual track in your mixer. You can manually do that by scroll up to add this to insert 2, and the same thing, scroll up to add this to insert 3. But if you actually have a lot of sound, this is actually going to take a lot of time to do. So what I would advise you guys to do is left click and drag. So once you've dragged, you can go over to the mixer, click on the first insert, hold Ctrl Shift L. Without you doing the work, it's going to rename each insert so you actually know what mixer track is for what sound, and you know, basically not get confused. So guys, basically for the mixer, what we have right here, we actually have the pan knob. This is to pan the sound. If I should drag it like 100% all the way to the left, it's going to pan the kick to the left. So if I should drag this to the right, it's actually, so I want to keep that all the way centered. And what we have right here is the stereo separation. So this is going to like let you decide if you want the sound to be a lot more stereo by dragging it all the way to the left, or if you want to make it mono, like if you want to make the sound centered like in the middle, you have to drag it all the way to the right. So but basically I want to leave this in the original state. And then this is the volume knob where you can control how loud the sound can be. So if I should take this all the way up, it's going to be really loud. So to bring this back, I can hold Alt and click on it to bring it back to the default position, or you can right click and click reset. So guys, one reason I'm going to advise you guys to link every sound individually is so you can add effects to them separately. Definitely I'm going to add some effects to the chords, and I don't want those effects to actually be on the kick or the rims. If I want to add effects to the rims, I don't want those effects to actually be on the kick. Sometimes you want to leave your kick empty without any effects. This is where you add effects individually. So you actually have 10 slots. Basically you can just left click, it's just going to have the effect selector open, and then you can select whatever effect plugin you want to select. So once this open up, I want to add a fruity parameter EQ. You can use this to remove certain frequencies from your melodies. So why I'm adding this is just to remove some of the low ends, some of the low frequencies from the chords. So if I should play it and I drag this down, I'm just going to remove the lows, like the bass, and then I'm going to add a fruity reverb 2. This is a reverb plugin, and then with this And once I right click on this, I'm going to click on the venue, and then these are like more presets, and this is what we're going to have. And then once you're done adding individual effects, you can go to the master to finalize every single thing. This is where every sound passes through. As you guys can see over here, everything is linked to the master. So guys, let's say you're done with your melody, you're done adding effects, and you've arranged everything out, or you're not done arranging everything but you want to like take a break and you want to save your project. You can manually do that by going to your file, click on save, or you can just hold Ctrl S, and once you've clicked on save, it's just going to open up this right here, and then you can just name it whatever you want to name it. That's to save your beat. But let's say you're done with beat and you want to export it as an mp3 or a wave file. You can just go to your file, go to export, and then click wave or mp3, whichever you want. So guys, like I said before, I would advise you to go get other packs, because what FL Studio is giving you is actually not quality. So I also have a free afrobeat drum kit. It's actually down in the description, and this has quality sounds, so make sure to go check it. It's actually free, completely free for you guys. If you also need a video on how to show your downloaded packs in FL Studio, or you also need a video on how to organize your files just like I did, just leave down in the comment section, and I promise I will drop a video for you. It's going to be my pleasure. So I hope you guys learned a thing or two. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. For those of you that are actually starting off your journey, just kind of take it easy with yourself. Don't push too hard, don't push too much, take things slow. Consistency is key, never forget that. Always be consistent, and you're just going to keep going from one level to another. So make sure to remain consistent, have determination, and I promise you'll be where you want to be. If you enjoyed watching this video, guys, make sure to like this video, make sure to smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and also hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any content that I'll be dropping out for you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys in the next video. I'm out of here. Peace.